What's happening, guys? Let's get this dough out of the fridge and see where we are with it. Let's see if it's risen. Let's have a look in here, guys. So, it was on the countertop a little bit longer than I said. Nice little bubbles. It was on the countertop a little bit longer than I said, and it was in the fridge for 18 hours, and it's clearly doubled, got some life in there. So now we want to knock the air out. Okay, can you hear that air? Lovely. Okay, shape it back into a ball. Little bit of flour on the top. Okay, and I can give it a little shape. Bit sticky, lovely. Let's give it a little shape up, little knead. Make sure all the air's out. That's it. And then because I want to put it in a banneton, I just want to shape it a little bit. Just give it, that's it. Look at that. Little bit of shape. Okay. Nothing crazy. It's not as difficult to shape as sourdough. Okay, so that's there. This is my banneton. You don't have to use this. If you use a bowl, you can use a bowl. You could leave it on the countertop like that with a tea towel over it. And once it's doubled in the oven, it goes on a piece of parchment paper. But we'll come to that later. I love using a rice flour. It doesn't have gluten in it, so it's like a separator, so that I know when I smack this out later onto my parchment paper, I know it's not going to stick. Okay? It's not going to stick into the banneton. Now that goes there like that, upside down. Lovely, lovely. Very simple to shape. Nothing complicated. Okay, so we'll revisit this in a few hours and we'll bake it when it's risen. Bearing in mind it's freezing cold, it is going to take some time to rise. Speak to you later, folks. The oven's reaching temperature, so let's get this baked and see what we end up with. Folks, this dough has risen lovely. That's a lovely plump loaf. I'm going to tap it out onto my parchment paper. That is why I use the rice flour, because I want to make sure it comes out. I've got my little brush to sweep the excess rice flour off, and I've got my lane to score the loaf. This fits into my Dutch oven lovely, which is in the oven at the moment. Let's do this, because I don't want my Dutch oven to cool down once I open the oven. Here we go. Hello, Sydney. Look at that, lovely. Nice bit of shape because of the banneton. Some nice lines on it. Not that that's totally necessary. I can pick it up to move it to the Dutch oven. Little score through the middle, just so we know where the bread's going to split. And in I go. Get this out. You don't necessarily have to have a Dutch oven. Any casserole dish will do. I love this. Bum, 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 bum. In it goes. Yeah, that's it. In it goes back in the oven. Boom. Folks, that's now in the oven. You don't have to have a Dutch oven. Any casserole dish will do. Perhaps an oven dish with foil over it if you didn't have a casserole dish. I do like to use the Dutch oven because it keeps the steam in, and that's where you get your crust. That helps with the rise. Not everyone has to do that, that's obvious, but I like to do that. Top tip, throw an ice cube in if you want it even crustier, gives you more steam. That is going into my oven for 45 minutes on 250. What you need to remember is everyone's fridge, everyone's oven, everyone's air temperature, everything is different. So you have to find out what suits you. For example, if you wanted to leave that bread on the countertop overnight and not put it in the fridge at all, that would rise beautifully, but you'd have to be ready to cook it the next morning, whereas obviously I have to go to work. So I like to put it in the fridge. It's called a cold retard. It takes forever to rise. You know, you've got hours and hours all the time you need. But if you put it on the countertop, it works equally as well. You just have to be ready the next morning and keep your eye on it. And again, it's all visual. If you don't think it's risen, don't cook it. And it's as simple as that. So you need to give yourself more time. If that had came out the fridge and it wasn't risen, I wouldn't have tried to cook it. I'd put it back, leave it longer, or I'd have put it on the countertop. Very simple loaf. Very hard to ruin, if I'm totally honest. Well, I'm really looking forward to taking this out the oven and see what we've created together. See you soon. Folks, it's time for the big reveal. Sid can't handle it, he's flown off. Actually, it's a bit dangerous for him around the Dutch oven, a bit hot. Whatever comes out the oven, comes out the oven. I haven't had a look, let's see what we've created together. Oh wow, that's hot. Let's have a look, guys. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is lovely. That's a lovely loaf. There it goes. Oh, needs to go on a rack ideally. Don't eat it too soon. Little test. Yeah, that is cooked. That is so hot. Oh man, I'm so happy with that. Get a load. That's crusty. I'll be bragging about this at work tomorrow. You know, yeah, it's no problem. Guys, need any advice, shout at me, send me the pictures, get on and create some bread for you and your family and enjoy it together. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, keep tuning in.